the first thing I found was that you get used to fear. It doesn't go away, but eventually you learn to control it. And then you can just put it to one side. So you know you're scared, just put that aside, you deal with the problem. That was the big thing that I found. I think what people don't understand is that it's not about strength. You know, everyone says, oh, we don't use strength. But I remember discussing with some guy who'd contacted me to ask questions about Wing Chun, and then when I tried to explain to him that strength isn't a factor, and he argued about it, I can understand, he just says, oh, well, you know, I can't really see how strength has got to make it better. They don't understand that it's like you're basically using your mass and gravity and making that land on the person. And if you fall off a roof and land on someone, it doesn't matter how strong you are, you're not going to hurt them more. The only thing that really makes a difference is your mass, how heavy you are. And I think people don't understand that. They still think, okay, well, I thought the same thing until I trained in Hong Kong. I thought, well, it's not going to hurt to do push-ups and things like that. That will make the Kung Fu better. That's indisputable, you know. But it really doesn't make a difference. When you try to use strength, what you end up doing is pushing off the ground in some way. That's the big difference. When we push a car, we're using strength to push off the ground and move the car like that. When we pass someone a cup of tea, we're just staying upright and moving. The trick is to be able to access that type of movement and apply it against force. It seems like it wouldn't work, but it actually does. But it's just really hard to do. So people think it can't be done or that it doesn't work. And the reason that misperception endures is because people don't spend enough time doing it. It takes so long to be able to do this and make it work. Hours and hours and hours before it really clicks in, like decades really before it works like it should work. One of my favourite sayings that Chu Shong Chin said was, the purpose of Silim Tao is to train the mind to accept the idea of not using force. And that's a really deep thing to say. You simply need to convince yourself. I think you could hypnotise people to do Wing Chun in a way. You need to convince yourself, which takes many hours of practice, that force won't make a difference. As I had more experience with fighting, I got used to the idea of being scared. And the first thing I got to accept was that you're going to get scared in any situation. Even real minor little things, you have fear. If you're honest with yourself, you do. And I've found from the first fight that I got into when I was bouncing, the first really scary thing is that once things started, my body would go into the Wing Chun mode. It would relax. I could feel my shoulders drop and things would work. So the first thing I found was that you get used to fear. It doesn't go away, but eventually you learn to control it. And then you can just put it to one side. So you know you're scared, just put that aside, you deal with the problem. That was the big thing that I found.